Good evening everybody. Tuesday night, so it's Theory Workshop here again at Direct Drive Hub. I trust you're all well, hope you all had a nice weekend. Weather's turning a little bit horrible, it's a bit drizzly and wet out there this evening. So I think summer is unfortunately well and truly over. Anyway, what are we going to talk about tonight? I've been speaking to my pupils over the last week, and I had one pupil actually ask me would I cover coasting. So that's going to be my topic for tonight, coasting and control. So what is coasting? Coasting is where the clutch is down. So the engine isn't engaged and basically the car is freewheeling. So the only thing making your wheels turn is the momentum that you've built up. I think another way of maybe thinking about it is most of us have ridden the bicycle. So obviously we power our bicycle by pedaling. So there we are, we pedal away, and we generate some speed on the bike, and then we stop pedaling. So when we stop pedaling on the bike, as we all know, your bicycle will still carry on. Now, effectively, you're coasting because there's nothing powering your bike anymore. It's just the momentum that you build up on the bike, okay? That's obviously keeping the bicycle going. So as we know, okay, that momentum, okay, will last depending on the situation of the road. What I mean by that, okay, if we're on a flat road, we will gradually lose momentum. If we're going downhill, in fact, you could find that your momentum will actually increase. If we're going uphill, then obviously your momentum will start to decrease a lot faster, and the steeper the hill you're going up, the faster you'll lose your speed. But effectively, if we're not pedaling the bicycle, alright, we are just freewheeling, we are coasting along. So the same thing, okay, when we're driving a car. Alright, when we push the clutch down, alright, we've disengaged the engine, so your road wheels, okay, are just freewheeling, okay, just going under the momentum that you've already built up. So the same as the bike, okay, obviously if you're on a flat road, then obviously your momentum will gradually decrease. If you go downhill, in fact, okay, you'll find that your momentum will probably increase. Going uphill, okay, it will decrease quite quickly, and the steeper the hill, the quicker your speed will decrease. So that's basically what coasting is, freewheeling. Alright, we can also freewheel, okay, when we go into neutral. So obviously we can put the clutch down, select the neutral position in the gear lever, and even though we're bringing the clutch up, because a gear isn't engaged, the engine is not driving the road wheels, so again we're still coasting, it's having the same effect. So that is what coasting actually is, okay, it's when the car is just freewheeling along and it's not being driven by the engine. Why is coasting bad? Well, I think let's first of all, okay, think about it, because there is an acceptable level of coasting and an unacceptable level of coasting. When it comes to driving a manual car, we're always going to coast for, okay, on a small degree, because obviously if we don't coast, the engine will actually stall. So what I mean by that is, imagine if we're bringing the car to a stop, so whether we're going to be parking up on the left on the curbside, or we're actually pulling up to stop at traffic lights, as we're braking our speed down, we have to depress the clutch down fully and disengage the engine, because if we don't disengage the engine before we stop, okay, the engine will struggle, you'll feel it jumping away, and eventually it would stall. So that clutch has to go down before we stop, so we have to allow the car to freewheel, okay, for a small period of time to prevent that stalling from happening. So you are coasting, and that's obviously quite acceptable. If you actually think about it as well, every time we change gears, so if we're changing from first to second or second to third, back down the gears, whatever we're doing, okay, we've got to push the clutch down to come out of a gear and go into our new gear. So again, we are momentarily coasting. So we're never going to, okay, we cannot not coast at all. And I think that's the first thing we need to understand, that there is an acceptable level of coasting we're going to need to do. What generally is unacceptable, okay, is maybe, okay, when we're driving at speed, so we're driving at 30 mile an hour or 30, 40 mile an hour in fourth gear, for example, and we need to slow down, and we then press the clutch down straight away. Now the problem is with braking, okay, pushing the clutch down first and then start to brake at speed, when we push the clutch down, because we're disengaging the engine, we're losing that engine braking. So as we know, when we come off the accelerator, alright, the car is going to start to slow down, because obviously the engine speed is reducing, and that's going to reduce, okay, your speed. So when you push the clutch down, coming off the accelerator, that engine can't reduce the speed because the engine isn't engaged. So we should be braking, alright, with the clutch up. So we're using the brake and the engine braking combined together to give us an effective slowdown. Alright, and then once we've got our speed down to a slow speed, then obviously we've got to push the clutch down, because if we don't, we've stalled. So at higher speeds, we're going to be braking first. Lower speeds, okay. First gear you probably find, I mean, it will vary from car to car, and it's something you talk about with your instructor, but you probably find, okay, going at very low speed in first gear, yes, you are going to push that clutch down first and start to brake. If we don't, the engine's going to struggle straight away, and you're actually liable to stall very quickly. But obviously when we start driving in the higher speeds, in the higher gears, we should be braking first, okay, and then pushing the clutch down. The timing of the clutch going down, I can't go into that specifically, because again, cars are going to vary a little bit, okay, the way that, okay, it's set up. So some cars, you can keep the clutch up longer, others you're going to have to push the clutch down, okay, sooner. So it's something, okay, worth talking to your driving instructor about with the timing of that. What I'm trying to put across to you guys tonight is understand, okay, what the acceptable bit of coasting is and what the unacceptable bit of coasting. Alright, so approaching a junction, okay, keeping in good control, okay, approaching a junction. Let's imagine we're approaching a roundabout. I don't know, we want to take the road ahead of the roundabout. So on approach, okay, to that roundabout, we're using our MSM routine, mirror signal, okay, and then we're going to start the maneuver. So that's going to be reducing the speed. So you're onto the brake and you're reducing the speed that you want, okay, to approach that roundabout. So remember, you want to get that gear change in before the roundabout, not on top of the roundabout, because you want to reduce that speed, alright? So then you've got time to assess the roundabout, look at where you're going, look at where you're going to be positioning, look at what you're giving way to. So obviously breaking that speed down, alright? And then once you've got your speed down, probably going into second gear. Now you need to bring that clutch back up again, so we're now in control as we're running up to that final stage on the roundabout, making our decision. So if I just show you this, okay, just to try and clarify. So if this is our road, alright, so this could be a roundabout, it could be a T-junction or whatever. So we're just argument's sake, okay, we'll say it's a roundabout, so we got our giveaway line, and we're approaching the roundabout. Okay, so we're using our MSM routine, mirror signal. Okay, if we're taking the road ahead, there would be no signal, but it's checking your mirrors and signaling if you need to, depending which direction you're going to go. So you want to then start reducing your speed, okay, you're bringing your speed down, you're braking, bringing your speed down, and then we probably want to get into second gear around about maybe 3 to 4 car lengths before we get to the giveaway line. So clutch down into second gear, and remember here, bring the clutch back up. So we're now got this slow running speed, okay, I don't know, probably between maybe 12, 15 mile an hour, something like that. So we're now smoothly running up towards the giveaway line. So at this point, okay, this gives us that chance to have a look to see what's coming round the roundabout, or what's coming at the junction, looking right and left, depending on what you're going to do. So you can make your decision to whether you're going to stop or whether you're going to continue on the roundabout. So if it's clear, that's okay. We're then obviously probably then just going to go gentle bit of gas and enter onto the roundabout. If there is traffic coming, we've got to give way, then obviously it's just going to be clutch back down, continue braking, slipping it into first gear, and then obviously just bringing yourself to a stop behind the giveaway line. So generally this is what I find, okay, a great way, okay, to obviously get that approach in. So we've got control, down at the second gear, smoothly running up, giving yourself that decision time. And I find with my pupils, okay, once they're approaching that roundabout nice and steady, and they've got that decision time, their decision making, okay, with the junctions starts to become a lot better. They're not panicking at the last minute to try and get gear changes in, panicking to seeing what's coming. Alright, they've got the time to do that. So if we're stopping, so if we're parking up on the side of the road, or we're approaching some traffic lights, then that's fine, okay? So obviously if we're going to park up at the side of the road, it's just a case of, again, using your MSM routine, checking your mirrors, giving a signal left if necessary, if there's okay, traffic behind or coming towards you, letting them know what you're doing, slowing yourself down, bringing that speed right down, and then steady your speed, bringing yourself down towards the curb, clutch down. Let the car roll a little bit. The advantage then, okay, obviously getting your clutch down and just letting the car roll a little bit, you can just make sure that you're lined up at the side of the road, okay, your position's good, okay, you're at the right distance from the curb, the car's nice and straight, and then obviously stop, handbrake on into neutral. Okay, if it's traffic lights, okay, then obviously the same thing, okay, just braking your speed, bringing that speed right down, getting the clutch down just before you stop, and then you're just using that last little bit of the roll to maybe come in, okay, behind the car in front or getting to the stop line, whichever it is. Alright, so the problem with coasting, alright, is it can cause us problems. And with the problem is, okay, a lot of us do coast, okay, and it doesn't cause us problems, and we think, oh, that's alright, well, you know, what is this big deal about coasting? I mean, why is it such a big problem? I think like now, okay, the weather is changing, okay, it's not going to be that long until we get icy roads in the morning and stuff like that. Now the thing is, okay, when we're braking, okay, at high speeds and we push the clutch down too early, so we're losing the engine braking, okay, we're effectively, as I've already said, okay, we're freewheeling. So the problem is, okay, the only thing now that's controlling your road wheels, okay, is your brakes. So again, it's going to be a lot easier for your brakes to lock the road wheels up, and if you lock the road wheels up when you've still got momentum, you're not going to stop dead, okay, you're going to go into a skid. So when you're braking, okay, with the clutch up and you've got the engine still forcing your road wheels to turn, one, you're going to get more effective braking because you're using the engine and the brakes, but the engine is also going to make it harder for the brakes to actually lock up the road wheels, okay, so make it harder for you to skid. And this is going to be really important coming into, okay, obviously when we're driving on a road surface, okay, where we've got less grip. Alright, so ice particularly, okay, obviously we've got very little grip on ice. So because we haven't got much grip between the tyre and the road, it's going to be very, very easy for the brakes to lock your road wheels up. And that's where you can then find yourself sliding, okay, on the ice. So having that clutch up, okay, and having that control with the engine, okay, is going to give you much, much better control. As what I say to my pupils is, you know, if we've got into this bad habit of coasting all the time, and when it comes to driving in bad weather, we're not going to suddenly lose that habit. It's still going to be there. Whereas if we develop the good habit, okay, of obviously driving, okay, and obviously getting the clutch up as we should, and reducing this coasting, we are going to be in much better control of the car, whatever the weather conditions are. Alright, so hopefully that's given you a bit of understanding about coasting and the effects, what it is, okay, the dangers of it, okay, and the way that we should be controlling the car. Okie dokie, I think that's it. So again, usual thing as I say to everybody, okay, please, 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 okay, share our videos out, alright? As I say, this is a free service we are offering to everybody, and hopefully whether you're learning to drive with us or whether you're with another driving school instructor, everybody is more than welcome, okay, to join in and obviously hopefully get some benefits from our theory workshop on Tuesday night. All we're asking you to do for our service is to share the video, so obviously we can obviously increase our audience. So please share, okay, like and share, I would really appreciate that. If you've got suggestions, again, you don't have to be our customer, if you've got suggestions of things that we could speak about, help with and all that lot, then just message us, okay, we would be grateful for your message, we'd be really grateful for your suggestions, alright, so we can obviously think about, okay, making those suggestions for any future theory workshops that we're doing and that. I've got a few videos as well on our YouTube site and all that lot, so what I probably will do, okay, on some of them, okay, is include a link. If I think that the video is going to be relevant and helpful, I'll include the link as well, okay, so obviously you can click on the link and have a look at the video, okay, from our YouTube channel. Okie dokie everybody, okay, have a great week, hope the weather is kinder to us, but have a great week and we will see you same time next week. Bye.